The Chris Sims Top 5 Receiver Prospects for the Draft, which begins 3 weeks from today. On Wednesday, we spent a lot of time talking about the number 1 prospect, CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma, and the guy who didn't make the top 5, Jerry Jeudy from Alabama. Let's start with Justin Jefferson today, number 2 on the rankings. And what separates him, Chris, from all the guys that you have ranked behind him?
Well, right. Justin Jefferson, Mike, he's a similar to like a Mike Thomas type guy. You know, that's where I would say. And in fact, I would say he's actually a better athletic specimen than Michael Thomas was coming out of Ohio State. Now, not quite as big, but played a similar role as Michael Thomas did for the Saints in the LSU Joe Burrow, Joe Brady offense, which was, wait for it, yes, the Saints offense. So he played that similar role, but yet he wins on the outside a lot too. Now, first off, I would say he's one of the best route runners in the draft. All right, so that's the first thing. He's fearless over the middle. He can make plays after the catch, as you can see right here. He can double moves, beat you downfield with size and speed. Mike, anytime I see a 50-50 ball, Justin Jefferson catches it. It doesn't matter. You're seeing it right here every time, and he's doing everything. So, you know, to me, again, this is, and I don't want to knock Jerry Jeudy, who I like, but this is the better version of Jerry Jeudy. This is the guy everybody expects from Jerry Jeudy, and I'm just trying to say, no, Justin Jefferson's is this guy. You know, his ability to do all of those things that we just talked about, it just has such great value in the NFL. So I think ultimately he's going to be a slot receiver because he's fearless over the middle. He can play through contact. He's got great play strength. He can break tackles. You know, he can turn the ball up the sideline and make highlight-type plays. He really has everything. And to me, he's one of the safest picks of the draft. I think he's kind of a can't-miss prospect. I think his floor is very high, as they say in the draft world, right, Mike?
And here's the thing. When you praise a Justin Jefferson, and when we show highlights like that, man, it starts making me wonder how much of Joe Burrow's rise,
I hear you,
and Joe Burrow's draft stock is influenced by the fact that he's
Sure.
got a guy that's going to go get it when, if it's anybody else, it's going to be an incompletion, and Joe Burrow's not going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Hey, listen, again, I take that into account. You know, yes, that's some of the argument I made with Tua too. The thing that's different there with Joe Burrow, though, is I saw so many plays where guys aren't open or it's not good pass protection, and he still makes a phenomenal play, you know, to advance the LSU offense. But, you know, I think this guy is a hell of a player, Mike. And I'll say this too. You know, when my quarterback rankings came out, I had a lot of people that texted me to go, man, Chris, shut up about Justin Jefferson. You know, you're shining too much light on him. So when I get those type of texts too, it tells me that people are laying in the weeds about the football player. And I think he is a special, special football player. You know, he's been around it his whole life. You know, I look at him and go, there's really no weakness to his football game.
Sorry, Kyle. Justin Jefferson won't be there at number 31. Chris has ruined that. The ruse is over. The jig is up. All right. Henry Ruggs III from Alabama. He was the fastest receiver at the Combine, fastest player, one of the fastest players in the draft. What separates him from other guys who were really, really fast, but maybe weren't as good as they could have been in the NFL, like a John Ross or a Marquise Goodwin?
Yeah, well, I think he plays a little bigger and stronger than both of those two guys, right? And, you know, even though those guys are, you know, very fast, there's no doubt about it. This guy's right on the same level, certainly. Good route runner, really tough, can break tackles with the ball in his hands. But yes, to that point, Mike, I mean, that's the kind of player he is in theory. You're hoping he turns out to be a Tyreek Hill type of guy. Now, he's not as muscular and powerful as Tyreek Hill, but I think he can be in a year or two as he continues to grow into being a man at this point. But it's all the things he can do for your football team, Mike. You know, it's no longer the day and age of where you need the prototypical Jerry Rice, you know, wide receiver for your offense. No. With the way offenses are, moving guys around, the motions, the speed sweeps, the wide receiver screens, you know, the play action passes, Henry Ruggs, the kick returns, the punt returns. It's all of those things he can do for your football team. And as you know, everybody's looking for a player who can make explosive plays. That's the value of Tyreek Hill. He's the greatest weapon in the sport. And that's why I would say he's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in the sport. Not necessarily because he's like the most refined route runner ever. No, he's not even in the top 5 or 10 as far as route running goes. But he's dangerous as hell. And you ask some DBs in football how to cover him, they go, I just back off and don't let him go behind me. Ruggs is that type of guy, Mike. Think about that guy. You got 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. It's 2nd and 2. All right. And now there's 1 receiver split out. It's Henry Ruggs. You go, oh, okay. What do you want to do? You want to leave him one-on-one outside, or do you want to put a safety back there? But now you're compromised to stopping the run, right? So it's the value of this type of player that still instills fear in a defense and changes schemes, let alone all the talent he can bring to your offense and special teams.
With the right quarterback, forces you to defend the entire field like teams have to do when they face Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, because that guy is going to get behind you quickly.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.